So I'm back after just taking like a week and a half off because I'll just turn this volume down. I had actually we had COVID, my family. Um I'm pretty sure it was the Omicron variant because we did not have severe symptoms. So I'm assuming that that was the variant. We both tested positive on our home kits twice. I know those they say those tests aren't 100%, but we both tested positive twice and got pretty strong lines. So between that and my symptoms, I'm pretty sure that that's definitely what it was. Um, yeah, it was just basically a cold, but a couple additional things like I had a low fever that came and went for a couple of days, and some achy joints, which they say is textbook. Like, remember the second day, I think my knees hurt. I think my hips, like my hip joints, I was getting pains. I'm like, I gotta know if this is pregnancy related, but it's gone away since. So I'm guessing it was from COVID. And I'm 37. I'm not 77, so probably COVID related. And I had a couple of nights where I had a bit of a night sweat, which they say is another sign. And once was even on a day that I didn't have a fever. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds really bad. It ended up not really being that bad. It was like being a little under the weather for a week, and we quarantined, and, so, anyway. So, as some of you know from a previous video, I am pregnant, and the results from my panorama test are in. So, yeah, so it's just my genetic testing. So, it says that I have a very low risk, like less than 1 in 10,000 of my baby having a chromosomal abnormality, so I was happy about that. And it says I'm having another boy, which I was thinking, like, initially I thought it was a girl because I was like, I really wanted one of each, because I have a son now. But as time went on, like, when it got closer to getting my results, I was kind of thinking about this pregnancy and comparing it to the last one, and they've been very, very similar between like food cravings and aversions and when the sickness hit, when the sickness started and went away, my weight gain pattern. Very, very similar. And they say usually, I mean, this could just be an old wives' tale, but they say boy and girl pregnancies tend to be different, so I'm really not surprised that it's a boy. Just based on the way my body is handling this pregnancy too, it seems similar to my last one. And because they say girls sometimes you get worse morning sickness or your skin breaks out and acne everywhere. I haven't had that happen. But again, I've never been pregnant with a girl, so I don't really know how to compare. Um, and I was thinking, so I think this will be my last child. I never really planned on having a huge family. Um, and honestly, like, 2 boys, I'm thinking is probably easier than 2 girls. I mean, I guess it depends, of course, on the individual children, and everyone's perspective is different. But having, like, me having a daughter that's like a clone of my mother, I don't think I could handle that. So maybe it's for the better that they're 2 male. Yeah, who knows? Um, but I guess what I kind of wanted to talk about with this video, which regarding gender and how it kind of ties into the rest of my channel, is how a lot of women seem to have something against boy children. And it's not so much that they hate boys, but some say it's just because they don't think they'd be able to relate to a boy and they don't really know what to do. And I kind of understand that. Like, if you're a real girly girl and you have a boy, it's like, oh, what do I do? I don't know how to relate and stuff like that. Um, but what I did see though, that like, I'm kind of scratching my head that people are this narrow-minded. That they feel like if they don't have a girl, they're losing out on the mother-daughter relationship. And I put that in quotes because what these women say that a mother-daughter relationship is, 90% of the time it's not that. Okay, like they have this fantasy basically of having like mock tea parties and dolls and dressing their daughter in frilly dresses and bows and all the girls' fashion, and then they're projecting like decades out into the future. Oh, but I'll miss being mother of the bride. I'll miss prom. I'll miss when my daughter gives birth. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, do you really still think in this day and age that all of that is a given? You may have a daughter that's like that doesn't get married, doesn't want kids, not even girly, doesn't even like shopping for prom dresses. Or she may have a personality that's totally different from yours and you don't really get along that well. And I'm thinking like comments about weddings and wedding dress shopping. And I was thinking back to my own mother and how she basically destroyed my wedding and made the whole process so miserable. And I remember like just being in that bridal shop, like just miserable. Like how many women out there put this kind of relationship on such a pedestal? And like 9 times out of 10, it's based on an assumption that's not real. And they're crying for months and depressed for months because they find out they're having a boy. I just like I think it does tie into societal narcissism a bit because it's basically a lot of these women I've just seen on message boards and online projecting their fantasies onto their daughter that they may or may not even ever give birth to, and what it's supposed to be and what they think they're missing out on. And it just amazes me that in this day and age women get to their 20s or 30s and their perspective is still that narrow. And then you have on the other hand too, like women who want a girl for the opposite reason. They're like, oh, I want a girl because I'm going to raise her to be a feminist, and I'm going to put her in boys' clothes and tell her that it's okay to, to put men in their place and be basically not be feminine. So it's like, it really is two sides of the same coin. I think like women wanting to live vicariously through their daughters and kind of push their own agenda, whether it's one extreme or the other. And maybe not all these women realize that that's what they're doing, but I think some of it is rooted in societal narcissism, because that's kind of a hallmark, like living vicariously through your children and projecting what you want for yourself onto them, and to try to like have them uphold the standard that you thought you were never able to be, or for whatever reason because you're bitter. And like that's exactly what it is. And I guess women who give birth to a son, they don't really get that chance, or don't think they do, unless some might just son husband their sons, but that's a whole other issue. And I think too, like, it seems like being male in this culture now, especially a white male, is just like, it's like just out, like it's like not trendy anymore. So that'll be interesting with my sons growing up. But it's not like they're blatantly saying that they hate male children or anything like that, but the ones who are biased, it's just a very bizarre perspective to me, and very, very narrow. And it's like they think they have such an idealized picture of the mother-daughter relationship, and 9 times out of 10 it never works out that way. And it's like, how do you not realize that? Unless they've all had a perfect relationship with their own mothers, which I highly doubt. So I don't know if any of you can relate to that. Like, with your relationship with your own mother, did she try to live vicariously through you? Or did you yourself, if you had kids, experience any gender disappointment either way? Because I really don't. Like, I opened the results, and I was bummed for like a day, because I was like, oh, I wish I could have had one of each. But then I started thinking, like, I mean, not to reduce it to this, but I am gonna save money. You know, Tommy's got a lot of onesies, a lot of clothes that didn't get a lot of wear, so I could use those again. God knows we have a shit ton of toys that we'll get to use again, or get double usage out of. So it's really not. And then they'll be about 3 years apart, and I think siblings of the same gender, you know, there's a chance that they could end up very close, or they might not. You know, we'll see. But sometimes siblings relatively close in age of the same gender are very close. So it's just, you know, whatever it is, I guess it's for the better, or whatever the man upstairs decided was best for me. Um, and people complaining about boys' clothes, like, I don't know, maybe I just have low standards, but he's got some really cute onesies. Like, he had this little one, this black onesie with all these little monsters all over it, like these little cartoon monsters. And I thought it was so funny because he was such like a cherub looking baby, so he had to have all these monsters on his onesie. And a lot of the boys' clothes, or the baby boy onesies, it's like they have a lot of very bright colors and vertical stripes. So if the baby is fat, they just look like a little beach ball. Like, I think, I just think that's so cute. Like, I don't care, you know, it may not be leopard and pink and bows, but, you know, a chubby little baby boy in rainbow stripes, I think is, you know, I think that's just as cute. So, maybe I just have low standards for what clothes are cute, but so anyway, yeah, I'm getting over coronavirus. None of us were really that sick. It was just like a kind of a colds for a week, plus some extra symptoms. We're getting through it. My son got it after us, so he's still a little sick, but nothing serious for him yet either. So we're getting over that. And I found out I am having another boy, and he there's like a less than 1 in 10,000 chance of any chromosomal issues. So that's really the most important thing. You know, the gender is just a bonus. Um, so so yeah, that's that. And I'll continue to make videos in the coming weeks and months. I just had a bit of hiatus because I was sick and I didn't really feel like it. And I'll see you on the next video.